Good afternoon. My name is Darnell Manuel, and I'm here to address you, the NCAA Board of Directors, along with the athletic directors that are here representing the different schools. I thank you for your time. I thank you for hearing me. Today, I want to talk about a subject that is so near and dear to my heart. I want to talk about why I believe college athletes deserve pay. I want to talk about this. As a young boy growing up, I love college football. Every Saturday, it seems, as I think about the memories and recall my childhood, Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., I'm watching college football all day. And then I loved college football in November because that's when the rivalry games would come. You had Auburn, Alabama. You had USC, UCLA. You had Michigan, Ohio State, Cal, Stanford. I mean, just tremendous rivalries. Just an exciting time in my childhood. And as I've grown older, I now recognize that college football is not just football, but college football is a big business. Is it wrong for it to be a big business? I don't think so. I think the problem I have with the big business of college football is the fact that everybody's getting paid except the players. And so today I would like to really address this issue with you, and I hope that you all will hear me out as I am coming to the defense, and I want to argue the case that college football players, they really do deserve to be paid. The first thing I want to mention to you, the reason why I believe college football players ought to be paid is because of the commitment that they make to schools to play football. It's not just signing a piece of paper to say, I'm going to play football, but now they commit. They commit themselves to practice. They commit themselves to be at practice every day. They commit themselves to sacrifice their recreational time. They commit themselves to the university's football staff. There's a player who chose not to be named who said that every day, his day starts at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. That's with conditioning and lifting weights. And he has to go to class. And when he leaves class, he comes back to the athletic department, lifting, conditioning, preparing for practice, watching film, studying playbooks. And here they are, study hall late at night, not getting home till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock p.m. And then realizing and recognizing that they have to do this all over again the very next day. College football players, they make a commitment through their practice every day, through their bodies, preparing their bodies to play. Did you realize what players have to do in order to play football? They have to get in peak conditioning. This is a major sacrifice. This is a major sacrifice. And I think it's incumbent upon the athletic departments and the administration to really consider to paying these young men. Would it really be such a big problem to pay these young men for sacrificing so much as it relates to their body and their time? They're giving their time, they're giving their bodies, they're studying their playbooks. They have to learn the manual, the playbook. When I worked, they gave us a manual to learn. It's like I had to learn the plays of the company. Before I could step foot out on the floor, whether it was customer service or retail, I had to learn the plays of that particular manual to prepare myself for the game. These players are doing the same thing. They're learning, they're growing, they're preparing themselves like nobody else has to play the game. college football players, I do really believe they deserve to be paid. They deserve to be paid because of their commitment. Their commitment. But then college football players deserve to be paid simply because college football brings in so much money for these college institutions. So much money. These college institutions get millions of dollars from the football program in order to run the rest of the institution. College institutions promote football, the programs, commercials, TV time, radio. College football is a huge moneymaker. I think it's important to point this out because these college institutions, your institutions, they're making so much money. So much money, so much revenue is coming in. The streams of revenue that are coming in are amazing, and yet college football players don't get a dime. Not from football, not from the NCAA. You got to be a scholarship player in order to get money, and even then, it's not much. Think of this, just from ticket sales. Alabama is one of my favorite teams. This study comes from 2013. The Associated Press reported that Alabama, from ticket sales alone, from the 2013 football season, $36,199,233. So let's round it up. $36,200,000 was raised, or revenue that was brought in just from ticket sales. Can you imagine? And none of this money has been given to any players. We're making so much money. It's not going to hurt institutions to give money to players. 36 million. This is one school. This is Alabama. I have great respect for Alabama, the administration and the coaching staff and the players, because Alabama is one of the greatest programs of excellence in our history as it relates to college football and just in general. This is ticket sales. Ticket sales. Ticket sales. $36 million. Television broadcast brought in a little over $7 million. This is just broadcast revenue. Contracts with particular channels of TV that bring in revenue, $7 million. If we were to only count ticket sales and radio and television, that's some $43 million coming in, and the players don't get a dime. Revenue is coming in. And then now we have the bowl college football bowl playoff series. College football has not always had a playoff series, but now they have a playoff series. And now you have $470 million that is to be split from the 4 conferences that are represented within that college football playoff system. And so that's another $118 million estimated, going back to the divisions that will split that amongst the schools. More money coming in, more revenue coming in. This money that's coming in, these college football players are not getting any of it. I think it's important to point this out. I think it's important to point this out that most college institutions, the average scholarship for a football player is $52,000 for the entire university for scholarships. $52,000. So all scholarship players have to split $52,000. for scholarships. That does not include walk-ons. It's a great deal of money to be made, and I think we need to address the issue. It's important that we recognize that it's important to play these students. We have no reason why we're not paying these college football players. 2011, a proposal came to you, the NCAA, to give each football player a stipend of $2,000. And that proposal was shot down. It was tabled, and it has not been picked up again. I don't know what it is that's causing us not to want to pay these students, these college athletes, but they deserve to be paid. There's too much money coming in. Too much. Too much money coming in. Too much. It's important that we pay these students. It's important. I want to say to you that the third reason and the final reason I believe college students ought to get paid is because it just makes common sense. It's common sense. Common sense. Athletic directors get paid. Athletic directors. The Alabama athletic director, Mr. Moore, he makes $600,000. Common sense. He gets a salary because he works. Nick Saban, head coach for Alabama, he works. He gets paid. Not only does he get paid, he's the highest paid coach in college football. A little over $7 million a year. And he coaches players who don't get a dime from revenue. And only players who have scholarships receive money, but it's limited and restricted because the scholarship on average is $52,000. Jersey sales are no good. You can't sell jerseys in college football. A couple of players had their jerseys auctioned, and they sold a jersey, signed it, got $10,000 for it, could have used it for school, and instead of being applauded, those student athletes were suspended for 2 games. It's almost as if we have a problem with athletes being paid. I think it's important to recognize that everybody is bringing in money, but the student athletes are being left out. This big business of college football is not fair. Our student athletes, our young men deserve to be paid. They put their bodies on the line. They're studying. They're preparing. Revenue is coming in. And it just makes sense. It's common sense that we pay these young men for the work that they put in. Their coaches are paid. Their staff is paid. Everybody's getting money. Ticket sales, TV sales, radio contracts, stadium money. Everybody's getting paid. The NCAA is paying money for those teams who make it to bowl games and playoffs. Everybody's getting paid except for the student athletes. It's time for our young men to get some type of compensation for the work that they do. We've got to stop leaving them out of this revenue stream. They're struggling. They need our help. College is a wonderful experience, but it is not right that so much money is made off of them. When you go to a football game, you don't go to see the medical staff. You don't go to see the assistant coaches. You go see the players. Until college football players are paid. I close with this. It's going to be a big cloud over college football until college football players are paid. The questions will linger as to why so much revenue comes in and yet people will not pay these students. I hope in some way I've touched a nerve and you will begin to consider this idea that college athletes deserve pay. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.